I think that the Gears Esports major, this last major, at least for the foreseeable future, had some things that I have never experienced in gaming, like in gaming history. Like it just what I experienced from the Gears major was something so special because the emotions behind it, the excitement, I mean, it was a great tournament, by the way. Even though a lot of, I really wish that we would have seen a lot of these other teams not have ended, necessarily, that being like Optic and some of these other teams that didn't participate in the last year's major. I would have loved to see that, but there was so many unbelievable moments in the final Gears major. And so I want to talk about that because, there was something about it that was so powerful to me. It was about, and it was more so at the end of the tournament, but it was something as powerful as anything I have ever seen in esports in general or in Gears of War up to this current juncture in time. And guys, I've been playing Gears of War for a long time. When I got my original Xbox 360, I worked an entire summer to get that Xbox 360. And when I purchased it, the game that came with the 360 was Gears of War. Knew nothing of it, of course, and it was the first title. And started playing it and fell in love. And all of these years later, I've dedicated my YouTube channel to Gears of War. I've played a lot of games, guys. I've created content around a ton of different titles. But there's something very special to be said about Gears of War. Without question. And so the very end of the Gears Esports tournament was just so special to me. The emotions, like I said, the crazy hype, the crazy moments, it just was unlike anything I've ever seen. And I will tell you guys this, watching, while we were watching the end of this thing that we love, and I love Gears Esports, guys, and I've said this in the past, before, in previous episodes of the Gears cast, I've talked about, that Gears Esports, I feel that we all took it for granted. And myself included. So I'm not like saying that there was never a moment in time I didn't take it for granted. I did take it for granted. It's kind of one of those things like, oh, maybe Gears Esports will always be around. And so you sometimes take those things for granted. I will never take it for granted ever again. When Gears 6 returns, Gears War Collection, whatever it may be, I will never take it for granted. I can promise you that. There are people in the community that never took it for granted. Those were people like Colin the Crow Clark, an unbelievable caster. I truly believe he never took a moment for granted in Gears of War's history, and being able to cast at the highest level of Gears of War, Gears Esports in general. Like, he never took any time that he was on screen for granted. And you could just tell with his passion, everything else that he had for Gears of War, and even moving forward into the future of this thing. So it was unbelievable. Like the power I saw, not just from like the casters, the stream itself, but from the community at large, everybody coming together to, be a part of the last Gears major, at least for the foreseeable future. Who knows? I mean, maybe it'll never come back. I mean, I believe that it's going to come back, guys. I refuse to believe that it will not return. In my mind, it will return.